Ladies and gentlemen, in the ring at this time, please welcome superstar grime recording artist Stormzy as he brings to the ring
from home from him, and he looks very relaxed. Yes, he's walked this way before a few times, Fletch.
London, are you ready for me? Olympic gold. 13 wins. 13 devastating knockouts.
From Watford, England, the undefeated AJ Anthony Joshua!
On Netflix, to those of you joining us right here in Texas. Are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, silver and chrome trunks. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 227.2 pounds. He holds a near perfect professional record of 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is the multi-talented superstar who bridged the gap between social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a promoter, and the self-proclaimed of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
This isn't about titles or rankings. It's about pride, power, and proving the world wrong. Joshua versus Paul is the ultimate test of heart and hype. The boxing world was stunned when talks of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul became reality. Joshua, the 2-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, has been in with some of the best heavyweights of his era. From his brutal knockout of Vladimir Klitschko in front of 90,000 at Wembley to his redemption win against Andy Ruiz Jr. in Saudi Arabia, Joshua built a reputation as a global superstar with thunderous power and resilience. His resume boasts wins over names like Dillian White, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and Kubrat Pulev, all proof of his championship pedigree. On the other side stands Jake Paul, the internet sensation turned fighter. Once dismissed as a gimmick, Jake forced the boxing world to take notice with decisive knockouts of Tyron Woodley, a hard-fought win against Anderson Silva, and victories over the likes of Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. While critics question his opposition, there's no denying his discipline, business smarts, and ability to draw millions of viewers to his fights. Love him or hate him, Jake Paul has become one of boxing's biggest names. Joshua's career has been defined by resilience. After suffering a shocking defeat to Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019, many wrote him off, but he returned with discipline and composure, outboxing Ruiz in their rematch to reclaim his belts. That ability to bounce back under immense pressure showed the world he wasn't just powerful, he had the heart of a champion. Fans also remember his absolute war with Klitschko, where Joshua was knocked down but came back to finish the legend in style. Meanwhile, Jake Paul built his own reputation by consistently silencing critics. Against Tyron Woodley, he produced one of the most brutal knockouts of the year, cementing himself as more than just a YouTuber playing boxing. His fight against Anderson Silva showed his stamina and composure, going toe-to-toe with one of combat sport's most respected veterans. Each victory grew his confidence and fan base, proving he had more grit than anyone expected. The stakes for this fight couldn't have been higher. For Joshua, this was about pride and legacy, proving he could not only dominate his division, but also shut down the circus of Jake Paul once and for all. For Jake, this was the chance to shock the world, to step from spectacle into legitimacy by taking down a former heavyweight king. Training camps painted a sharp contrast. Joshua focused on fundamentals, revisiting the jab and uppercut combinations that once terrorized the division. He sparred with top heavyweights, determined to re-establish himself as a dominant force. Jake Paul, meanwhile, doubled down on conditioning, sparring bigger opponents than ever before, and leaning on his signature overhand right, the very punch that flatlined Woodley and floored Silva. Fight night was electric. The arena shook as fans from two completely different worlds collided. Hardcore boxing purists cheering Joshua, and the new generation of fans roaring for Jake Paul. The spectacle felt surreal. Olympic gold versus YouTube gold. Stadium lights beamed, the crowd roared, and tension filled the air. The opening rounds were a chess match. Joshua's stiff jab controlled the distance, keeping Paul at the edge of his reach. Jake looked to slip and counter with looping right hands, trying to land the shot that made him famous. Each time Paul connected, his fans erupted, while Joshua's composure and ring IQ neutralized the danger. By the middle rounds, Joshua began to shift gears. His hooks and uppercuts broke through Jake's high guard, forcing Paul back into the ropes. Joshua's body shots drained Jake's energy, making him visibly slower. Yet Jake didn't fold. He fired back, showing courage that earned him respect even from his harshest critics. In round 7, the pace quickened. Joshua landed a sharp right hand that snapped Paul's head back, followed by punishing combinations. The difference in size, power, and experience was becoming clear. Still, Jake absorbed punishment and kept swinging, proving his toughness on the biggest stage. The later rounds were all Joshua. With calculated aggression, he closed the distance and dominated exchanges. In the 9th round, Joshua delivered a brutal uppercut, a shot reminiscent of his knockout against Klitschko, sending Jake Paul crashing to the canvas. The referee's count felt eternal, but Paul couldn't recover. Anthony Joshua was declared the winner by TKO. In victory, Joshua restored his aura as a feared heavyweight and silenced critics who doubted him. For Jake Paul, the loss didn't destroy him, it elevated his reputation. He had dared to face one of boxing's biggest stars, endured punishment, and showed heart that many never thought he had. This fight may not have been for belts, but it was for pride, legacy, and the future of boxing's entertainment era. It proved that spectacle and skill can coexist, and for one unforgettable night, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul delivered a fight fans will never forget.